Okay, so here's my second video on September 10th. This video is going to tell you about Nexus Vortex, which is the name that I chose back in January. I knew that I was going to be stepping into a very important role. I had actually started this channel, Nexus Vortex. Previously it was called Succulent Synergies, because I was going to start using my life a little over a year ago using succulent. But then as I went forward, succulent is just one portion of me, but Nexus Vortex is going to encapsulate all the spiritual teachings that as I'm going to move forward. So I'm going to be known, I'm going to be known as Tara and Succulent, but Nexus Vortex is going to be the name that this is going to come back to when we go into, I don't know. Yeah, Nexus Vortex is me. So what does it mean? Nexus Vortex. So the actual definition, when you put those two together, it's a central pointed converging energies, ideas, or connections that generates a dynamic transformative flow. So I decided to cut that down, and I came up with epicenter of convergence that cultivates evolution. I really like that definition. So with that being said, this all started for me, like I said, before I was even born. Okay. God spoke to me. 142. God spoke to me. 142. That's going to be a very important number. God spoke to me the first time that I remember to acknowledge that it was God, universe, when I was 16. But now that I've been, all the pieces have come together for me. I remember when I was a child that I used to think that I could control the weather. Okay. That's interesting. I've always been drawn to nature. I've always been drawn to animals. And my parents have always said that I've never met a stranger. You want to know why? Because I haven't. No. Who I am, like I said, I had to be hidden for a long time, but now I'm coming out. So Nexus Vortex is the name I'm going to go by. So, by the way, I've had to experience a lot of broken relationships. Why is that? Well, they were put as a assimilation to train me, but I was also put in as a test for them. So if you're here watching this, and I know you are, did you pass the test? Did you? Because guess what? For some of you, the test isn't over yet. How are you going to respond to this? How does it make you feel that the person that that was put into your life was sent specifically from the divine? Ooh. So that's going to sting for some of you, but then some of you are going to be like, you know what? And you know how many times I've been around people, and I know I was put into certain people's lives to activate them. Matter of fact, I can give you several names of people that right now are on their own awakening journey, and I sparked that. I activated that in them. I didn't even realize I was doing it. I do now. Gosh, there's been so many really hard things that I've been through, and but every single time I was right where I was supposed to be. Even when my life seemed like it's most chaotic, I was exactly where I was supposed to be every step of the way. Okay, I'm in Las Vegas right now. Next week, who knows? I have no idea. I'm so excited. So with that being said, we are now, this is going to go global, guys. This is going to go global. This is just the beginning. So there's going to be a lot of terms that I bring up. And so I would encourage you to, I've used AI a lot. I like ChatGPT, but I've gone and I've asked various questions, like what is the hero's journey? Or what is, simple terms. What is detachment? What is what is the healing process? What is all these different things? Go and ask. Go ask. Okay. Don't just take my word for it. Okay. Go do the research yourself. Okay. I'm here to plant seeds. I'm here to speak truth. You don't have to believe me. You don't have to. You can walk away and continue being ignorant. I mean, that's your choice, I chose not to be ignorant. I chose to seek the truth, because even in the Christian religion, I was a pastor's wife for 8 years. Studied the Bible for 4 years, okay? There were so many things that just did not sit right with me. And I tried to make sense of them logically, and they just never really worked out. And what we have to understand is there's going to be a lot of things, according to what we've been programmed to believe, we're trying to look at it through that lens, and we're trying to make sense of it, but it doesn't all fit, guys. I have had visions. I have had dreams. I have had things coming into my experience that you cannot make this shit up. Okay? I was on the 54th floor of the Cosmopolitan, and a small brown bird made its way up to my balcony and landed right there. Do small birds go that high? Okay. I mean, it could have just been a coincidence, but... So there's things like that have been happening to me. And it really started ramping up starting last November. I think I've explained this in some of my awakening videos. And so I even thought I was crazy. And then I started going, okay, so I've been taught all of my life that psychics and tarot cards and, all of these things are evil. They're of the devil. No, they're not. Actually, that's how God speaks to us, through other people. And they can speak to us through these. I can't make this shit up. But I've had visions. So even 2 years ago, I had a vision of who I was going to be. The really cool part right now is that shit's going to start getting real. And very, very soon, I'm going to have a man come into my life. There's been a couple of men I thought may have been it, but they weren't far enough along on their healing journey and their awakening process to be able to handle me or handle what I have. So the man that's going to stand next to me, he's going to be where I am, at my same frequency, at my same vibration. Okay, and that's not easy to find. That's okay. I don't have to go looking for him. He's going to come to me. He's going to be amazing. And I'm going to make him the luckiest man alive. Talk about some confidence. I walk a fine line of confidence and cocky. You're going to understand that. But why is that? It's not cocky because it's true. See, I can back up everything that I say. So, this is going to be a lot of fun. What else we got here? I'm a human lie detector. I have a lot of really cool gifts. So I had to go into isolation a lot of times. And, I used to always want to be surrounded by people. But when you're surrounded by all the noise and all the distractions and all the things, you can't focus on the small, still voice that's speaking to you. All the answers are right inside of you. All of the answers are right inside of you. You just don't know it because you're too distracted. Why do you think numbers appear, number sequences, 111, 222, 1111, 444, 888, 999? Why do you think I've been posting numbers? Animals will come into your existence. What else is going to come into your existence? Hummingbirds have been a big one for me. Insects, trees, animals, all different kinds of things. So yeah. What else? My big breakthrough, what it was? I had to trust, I had to surrender. And that was huge for me. Not having any money, not having anything at all. And the universe goes, are you gonna trust me? And it's crazy because it's been taking care of me the entire time. I mentioned in a video not too long ago that I literally have been flying all around the United States. Okay. I've traveled the world, okay? I've never been without food or nicotine or even alcohol when I've wanted alcohol. I've never been without anything. No, and as a matter of fact, I've probably had a lot of the finer things during that time as well. A good portion of that time, I didn't even have a job. And, it wasn't because I didn't want a job. Honestly, there was a time where I actually applied for jobs, but because my driver's license had been suspended because of my back pay and child support, I couldn't even get a job. That's interesting. Yeah, well, I'm going to tell you more about that stuff too. Hey, so if there's anything you guys want to hear about and know about, just ask. Go ahead and throw a topic down there, and I'll tell you. I'll tell you what the truth is, and if I don't know the truth, I'll find it for you. 10:10 on the timer. So I'm going to go into what our intuition is and what we need to be truly paying attention to, and not what the world as we know it is telling you. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and end this. Love you guys. And yeah.